Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Naomi. I'm going to be taking you through your yoga class today. Today we've got a simple get to grips with yoga beginner's practice. So there's not going to be anything too challenging, but we will still feel stretched and we will still feel relaxed and a little bit strengthened as well throughout our practice. So this is a really great practice if you've not done yoga before, or if you're new to yoga, or perhaps if you are or have been working with injuries and you're now in recovery and you're improving. It's a nice way to get back into your yoga practice if you haven't practiced in a while. Just be mindful if you do have any injuries, if you are working with anything at the minute, that you always listen to your body and that you practice safely. Just really listen to your body. That's one of the most important things in our yoga practice, is that we listen to our body and we acknowledge how our body feels. If poses don't feel good, if they don't feel comfortable, then we come on out of them and we rest in our child's pose or a different pose. Don't worry, if you don't know any of the names of the poses, we will get to them later. But always make sure you are listening to your body. And secondly, the other thing, enjoy yourself. Try to release expectation of how your yoga class will go. Just try to enjoy it, try to have fun. You might notice your body's tighter or less tight than you imagined. Yoga might be something completely different to what you thought, and that's absolutely fine. Just try to enjoy the session. When you're ready, we're going to start on our backs. So we're going to come down to lying on our backs. So bringing the body all the way down. And we're going to take those arms alongside the body, palms facing up. You're going to take the feet about hip width apart, allow the feet to fall out to the sides, and close your eyes. And begin to relax. And in our yoga practice, we try to breathe through the nose. So if you can, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose throughout the whole of class. You might find you lose the breath, that's fine, don't worry, don't beat yourself up. Just come back to it when you can. In through the nose, out through the nose. It helps us stay calm, it helps us focus, it helps us just practice that a little bit more, a little bit better. So always breathing through the nose if you can. And as you lie here on your backs, just allowing all the thoughts of the day or the thoughts of the future or the past, allow them to slide away. Until it's just you and your mat and the sound of my voice. And begin to just check in with the physical body. So really noticing how the muscles and the joints feel. Noticing any areas of tightness within the body, any areas of achy muscles. And just observe. You don't have to criticize. Just observe, just listen to the body. Even before we begin to move through our poses, we can listen to our body and notice how our body is feeling. And perhaps if you do feel areas of tightness, acknowledge that it'll change the way that your poses feel. And that's fine. But just acknowledging where your body is at today. And then check in with that breath in and out through the nose. How does it feel? Does it feel shallow? Does it feel deep? Does it feel rushed? Maybe you've been rushing around trying to find a yoga mat, trying to find a bit of space to practice in. And now you're just taking that time to settle onto your mat. So allow everything to slide away. And connect with your breath at any point. If you find the practice challenging, whether physically or mentally, come back to your breath. Our breath is always here for us. And slowly beginning just to take the left toes up to the ceiling. Flex the left foot, so make it active. The toes point to the sky. And then we're going to draw the right knee into the chest. The shoulders stay onto the mat. The jaw stays relaxed. And we're just going to clasp the hands over the shin just below the knee. If that's too much, you can always take the hand to the back of the thigh. We're going to breathe in and out through the nose. And perhaps as you exhale each time, you find a little more space in that hip. And you might find there's no more space in that hip, and that's not going to go anymore, and that's fine. Just finding your own variation of the pose. Your poses may not look exactly like mine, or if you're practicing with somebody, they may not look like the person next to you, but that's okay. Yoga is a very personal practice. It always looks different from body to body and day to day. So just accepting your yoga practice for what it is today, especially if this is the first time or one of the first few times you've stepped on a mat. And then when you're ready, we're going to extend the right leg along the mat, flex those toes, and then draw in the left knee this time. Relax the left foot. So the right foot is active, the left foot is relaxed. Holding just below the knee on that shin, or alternative under the thigh if you wish. Relax the collarbones, so allow the collarbones to broaden, the shoulders melt into the earth. And finding that gentle release, perhaps through the lower back, perhaps through the glute muscles. Just enjoying that gentle stretch through the lower body. Beginning to release any tension that we're holding in the glutes and the lower back. Breathing for 2 more cycles of breath. So a cycle of breath is 1 inhale, 1 exhale through the nose. So taking your final cycle of breath in this pose. And then draw both knees into the chest. Hug the knees in, draw the forehead to the knees, and sway slightly side to side. Just massaging into the spine. Releasing into the body. And then release the shoulders back to the mat. Keep the toes together, but take the knees a little wider. And drawing the knees by just placing the hands just below the knees on the shins. Draw the knees down to the shoulders. Feel a slight opening through the inner and outer hips now. And then when you're ready, take those hands behind the thighs. Rock up a little bit and rock back. Up and back. And then when you're ready, all the way up to cross-legged. We're going to find ourselves seated in cross-legged when you're ready. If you can't sit cross-legged, if that's uncomfortable, then you're more than welcome to take any variation, whether that's kneeling. You might just need to take the feet sort of out in front of you. Really depends where your flexibility is at. So just changing that pose if you need. So finding yourself in your seat. Reach those hands up to the sky. Lengthen the fingertips all the way up. And then we're going to take a twist. Take the left hand onto the right knee and take the right hand behind, twisting out to the side. And then if you wish, you can gaze over that back shoulder. And as we come into our twist, trying not to slouch, we're sitting up tall as we inhale. As we exhale, we deepen that twist. Breathing into your pose. Perhaps as you exhale, you find that twist can deepen a little. Breathing for 3 full cycles of breath here. And inhale, take those hands all the way back to the center, to the sky. Exhale, release into your twist on the other side. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twist deeper. If you wish, look over the back shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Always connecting with your breath when you can to help you find that peace within the pose. And you might feel the muscles beginning to switch on a little bit. Both of the sit bones are grounded, the spine is long, and we're twisting from the belly button upwards. Coming back to center. And when you're back in center, we're going to walk those hands forward, lengthen out into a gentle forward fold, nothing too deep to begin, just releasing a little and dropping the chin to the chest. Walk those hands back up. Beautiful, really nice. We're going to begin to move a little more. We're going to come into our all fours, into tabletop position. So taking wrists directly underneath shoulders, knees directly underneath hips, and spread the fingers as wide as you can and take the tops of the feet to the mat. From here, coming into our cat-cow. Inhale, dip the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round through the spine, gaze between the knees. Inhaling, slowly releasing into your cat pose, into your cow pose, sorry. And exhaling, rounding. This one's your cat pose now. arching the back. Inhale, dip the belly, coming to your cow, opening the chest, lifting the tailbone, ground the hands. Exhaling, rolling through the spine, other direction. One more cycle at your own pace if you wish, opening the chest as you inhale. Exhaling, rounding the spine as you come in. And then come back to center. From here, we're going to take a thread the needle pose. We're going to take the right hand, we're going to thread it underneath the left arm. We're going to try and release the shoulder and the right side of the head to the mat. If you don't reach the mat, that's okay. Really nice way to get into the pose is use your core muscle. Really send that arm with purpose to the left side so you can reach further to the mat with the right shoulder and right side of the head. If you do need, you can take a cushion under the right shoulder if that feels better. Option 1, that might be enough to stay here. Option 2, if you wish, take the left hand up and over, rest it onto the lower back to deepen that twist. And then if you wish, maybe you close the eyes. Maybe you want to sway those hips a little. Sometimes that can feel really good in this pose, just to sway those hips. Remember your breaths in and out throughout the nose. I know there's 101 things to remember. Try just to let it happen. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. So we're just swaying side to side if you wish, or staying static. Either hand to the mat or up onto the lower back. Just gently beginning to open into the shoulders. This can be quite a tough one to access, to get into. The more you send that arm through with purpose, the easier this stretch becomes. The more intense that stretch becomes. One more cycle of breath. And then, if you have the hand on the lower back, bring it back to the mat. Press the left hand into the earth. We're going to take an open twist. So bring right hand all the way to the sky, gaze to the right thumb. Open the chest and stretch from fingertip to fingertip. And then release the right hand back to the mat. And we're going to move on to the other side, lifting left hand, threading with purpose, taking it all the way through to the right hand side, lowering the left shoulder, left side of the head to the mat. And maybe that's enough. Again, if you wish, take that deeper option, take the hand to the lower back. And then option, if you wish, sway those hips. And you'll always have a choice in any of these poses. You can do what feels right for you. So staying in for 3 more cycles of breath. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, softening with every exhalation, allowing a deep relaxation to just flood over the body as you breathe out. You're doing really, really well. Really nice. Pushing that hand. If you haven't got the right hand to the mat, take it to the mat now. Push through the right arm, open left hand to the sky, gaze to the thumb. Open that chest, have a nice open chest stretch, and bring the hand back to the mat. Really nice. One little pose to activate the core now. We're going to extend the left leg back behind you. Try to keep the hips level. So we don't want the hip to drop or to lift. We want to keep it level. If that's enough, stay here. If you want to go to the next step, you can bring the right arm forward and take the palm facing in, thumb to the sky. And we're reaching from heel to fingertips, trying not to dip into the belly. Keep the core engaged and breathe for 3. Keeping it strong, breathe for 2. Engage the core, breathe for 1. Really nice. Place that hand back to that mat, bring the knee back to the earth. And switch sides. Right leg comes out. If you have a plant behind you, don't kick it. Don't harm the poor plants. And then if you wish, take the next level. Take the left hand in front as well. We're reaching heel to fingertips. Spine is long. Gaze towards the earth. Engage the core. Breathing for 2. Breathing for 1. Beautiful. Bring the hand back to the mat with control. Bring the knee back. We're going to take down facing dog. So walk those hands a few inches further forward and tuck the toes. We're going to spread those hands as wide as you can. So spread the fingertips. ground into the hands, and then push the hips up and back. And to begin with, keep the knees bent and just find the feet so that the feet are hip width apart. So we're looking for hip width apart with the feet, knees bent, hands just wider than shoulder width, and almost push into those palms. We're pushing through the shoulders. Relax the head. That might be enough. That might be so much of a stretch through those hamstrings you do not want to move any deeper. If the hamstrings feel okay, you can begin to lengthen through the hamstrings if you wish. You can straighten out through the knees and take that full inverted V shape, your downward facing dog. We try not to flare the ribs, so try to keep the core slightly engaged. You might find if you're new to yoga that you've kind of got a hunch up in the shoulders here. Just try to find some softness, try to shake it out. If it's really tough, bend those knees. If it's still way too tough, take the knees to the mat and then take a nice straight line with the upper body into your half dog pose. This can be a great alternative, particularly if you've got wrist injuries or if you're just generally new to yoga and struggling with your full downward facing dog. So wherever you are, whichever variation you're in, one more cycle of breath. Doing really, really well. Then if you're up in your full downward facing dog, we're going to tiptoe to the front of your mat. If you're down in half dog, just slowly coming up so that you've got the feet on the mat and you're in a gentle forward fold. So gentle forward fold, we want our feet together, knees can be bent, and then we're going to release the arms. Your hands might not reach the ground, that's fine. It took me a while till my hands reached the ground. You can take the hands to the shins. And you might find you're kind of arching through that upper back, really finding this tough. Just ease up. It doesn't matter how low you are in that forward fold. I've taught a lot of athletes, a lot of people who have a lot of tension in the body. If this is your forward fold, if that's enough, that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to take opposite hand to opposite elbow. So for those of you with a lot of flexibility, you'll be looking at something like this, perhaps even with the legs straight. If you've got a lot less flexibility, you probably have a bend in those knees and you're hanging out somewhere around here. And that's fine. Find your own variation of your forward fold. If your hands do reach the mat, then obviously if you wish, you can take those hands to the earth. Just take your option. And then keeping the core engaged, begin to roll up all the way to the sky, rolling through the spine, all the way up. Lift the hands up to the ceiling. Palms come together and we're going to gaze to the hands at the top. Exhaling, bringing the hands back down to the mat and back into your forward fold. Release the head. Again, if you're only halfway, I shouldn't say only, if you're halfway, if you're upright, that's absolutely fine, don't worry. It's never about how deep you get into the pose or how far you get into the pose, it's what you're feeling in the pose. Then when you're ready, we're going to sink into the knees. So bend the knees, sink the hips, squeeze the inner thighs together, lengthen through the back body. So our back body is nice and long, our core is engaged. We're taking our chair pose. We're feeling a bit of warmth now in those legs, feeling those legs switching on. Doing really well, really nice. Breathing for 2 more cycles of breath. Really good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release the hands down to the side of the body. And we're going to come down, take both hands to the mat and step into a plank position. From our plank position, drop the knees. And we're going to step the right foot to the front of the mat. So stepping the right foot to the front of the mat. Untuck the left toes if that's comfortable, or keep them tucked, choice is yours. We're going to take a simple lunge, a simple low lunge, so option with that back foot, whichever you prefer. Check that front knee is over the ankle, so we don't want it all the way over here. It's going to put excess pressure into the knee. So shuffle those hips back if that has happened. And find the knee stacked above the ankle. And then you might find that's enough with those hands on those knees. You'll be feeling that stretch through the front of the left hip. If that's enough, stay here. If you want to take it deeper, lift the arms up, fingertips to the ceiling, palms turn towards one another. And this feels deeper because we're adding an extra muscle in. We stretch one extra muscle as we bring those arms to the sky.
So that's why that feels a little bit deeper. We're also opening the distance at the front of the hip a little more. Breathing for 3. Breathing for 2. Breathing for 1. Beautiful. Take the hands to the mat and then just switch sides. You might feel the hips aren't very open. That might not be the most elegant transition, and that's absolutely fine. Finding left knee above left ankle, right toes tucked or untucked, whichever you prefer. Hands to the thigh. If that's enough, stay here. If you want to go deeper, reach those hands high, palms turn into one another. And to make it active, we activate the fingertips, so the fingertips stretch. And that helps involve the upper arms when we're in lower body stretches. It helps bring a full body into the pose. Remembering your breath. Using your breath as your anchor in your practice, so always coming back to it. Every time you settle into a pose, think to yourself, oh, where's my breath? And find it. Doing really well. Breathing for 2. Breathing for 1. Release the hands to the mat. And then we're going to step back to our downward facing dog. Stretching those hips up and back. Really finding length through the backs of the legs now. And then when you're ready, tiptoe the feet all the way to the front of the mat. Wiggle your way to the front of the mat. Bring the feet together. We're going to come back to our chair pose. Sink those hips. Lengthen those arms. I did say we'd be doing some strengthening, so just beginning to switch on those muscles. Feeling them work. And then inhale, straighten out. Exhale, release the arms outside of the body. We're going to step back with the left foot. So step back and then turn the left toes to face the long edge of the mat. So they're about nearly 90 degrees. And front knee, right knee sits over right ankle. And we're coming into our warrior 2 pose. So warrior's poses work the bottom half of the body, they work the lower body. So finding that open hips to the side, front knee bent over ankle, not falling in, not really far forward, sitting over the ankle like we did in our lunge. And open the hands and the arms to shoulder height. Gaze over the front middle finger. And breathing for 5 full cycles of breath. You might feel that those legs begin to talk to you. That's okay. Breathing for 4. Breathing for 2. Breathing for 1. Inhale, rise both hands to the sky and switch the toes over. So right toes face the long edge now. Left toes face towards the back of your mat. And then bend into the left knee. Sink the arms to shoulder height. Find your warrior 2 on the other side. And that will have been a nice little flow. Just getting you used to a bit of flow if you do want to practice any of my other classes. Often we flow a bit. So that's just a bit of a flow there, moving from pose to pose. Feel that strength in that front thigh. Almost imagine the inner thigh of the right leg is rolling out. And we're finding length from fingertip to fingertip. Shoulders aren't leaning too far forward, we're not Superman. We're sitting with shoulders over hips. Breathing for 2. Breathing for 1. Beautiful. Inhale, straighten that left leg, bring hands to sky, turn both toes to face the long edge of the mat. Bring the hands to the hips. If you have sciatica pain, turn the toes out, otherwise just keep them facing forward. Exhale, begin to fold down towards the mat. You might find you can't get very far. If those hamstrings are tight, that's fine. You can stay wherever feels good. You might feel that actually the body allows you to take the hands to the shins or to the ankles. If you're really naturally flexible or you've been practicing yoga a while, you might find those hands can reach towards the mat. And wherever we are, whichever variation, really relax the back of the neck. If you wish, take your hand to your neck and to your shoulders and give yourself a bit of a massage here. Just release those muscles by physically putting contact through them, squeezing the muscles with the hand, encouraging the neck to soften. And release over the legs. Breathing for 3. Breathing for 2. Breathing for 1. When you're ready, turn all of the toes to the front of the mat and place your hands either side of front foot. And then we're going to step back foot in, bend the knees and sink all the way down to the mat. And we're going to roll straight onto our backs. So we're coming down for a few stretches and then some relaxation. So we always finish with relaxation in yoga. So drawing the knees in and rocking side to side. Just massaging lower spine. Then when you're ready, take outside of right foot onto left thigh. Take left foot to the mat. So we're in this pose here. If that's enough, stay here. If you want to take it deeper, lift the hand up to the back of the left leg. So the left leg lifts and we take a clasp through the hole in the middle and the outside of that left thigh and we hold behind. Breathing for 3. Breathing for 2. Really flexing into that right foot, so the right foot is active. When you're ready, release the grip, place left foot to the mat, place the right foot to the mat, right knee bent, switch sides, left foot to right thigh, and then if you want that deeper variation, pick up, otherwise leave on the mat. So I'm going to take that first option for you here so you can see it on this side. You can take one hand to each thigh. Encourage the whole of the spine to connect to the mat. Breathing for 3. Breathing for 2. Breathing for 1. When you're ready, just uncrossing those legs. We're going to lengthen both legs away from the body. Come back to our starting pose. This is our Shavasana. This is our relaxation. So just walk the shoulder blades closer together. Wiggle the hips and settle onto your mat. Close your eyes. And this is one of the hardest poses in yoga. A pose of complete surrender and complete acknowledgement of the body and the mind. So as we lie here, everything that is in the body and the mind, we notice, we feel. So take your awareness to your breath. And you can just watch your breath to help you stay in the present moment, to help you just reduce the chattering of the mind. Just watch your breath. Watch the movement of the chest. Allow the whole of the body to soften. As you exhale, encourage every muscle to let go. Just allowing all of that softness that you encouraged in the body to spread from fingertips to toes. Finding a calm, quiet place within your own body and mind. Just finding your quiet, calm place. Allowing the body to rest in this place. We spend a lot of our day, a lot of our time rushing around, always busy. But right here, right now, this is your time to relax, to settle down and release any excess tension within the body and the mind. When you're ready, begin to move the fingertips and the toes, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, bringing some movement back into the body. Perhaps circling the wrists, circling the ankles, bringing more movement into the limbs. I'm going to take a full body stretch. So point the toes, take the thighs together, reach the arms up and over behind you, lengthen the arms away, stretch out through the whole of the body as if you were waking up in the morning. And when you're ready, release the arms alongside the body. Bend the knees, take the soles of the feet to the mat. And gently roll onto your right hand side. So we're just pausing on our right hand side here. Just allow the breath, the blood flow, everything to come back to its natural rhythm. And take a moment just to notice how your body and your mind feel now after your yoga class. And in your own time, when you feel ready, slowly working your way up to cross-legged. Finding yourself in a seated position, so you can sit cross-legged, you can kneel, whatever feels right for you. Just roll the shoulders up to the ears and release them down. Maybe wiggle the spine a little left to right. And for a moment, just sit. Just take a moment of quiet. And then take the hands together at the heart center. So this is our little symbol that we produce at the end of every yoga class. We bring our hands together at our heart center, fingertips, thumbs, palms, all pressing in. You've probably seen this around. It's our Namaste mudra. It acknowledges the time you've taken to practice, and it just acknowledges the light in everybody. So finding your mudra, bringing the hands together, dropping the chin to the chest. Blink open the eyes, allow the light back in. And when you're ready, lift the gaze. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you enjoyed your class, and particularly if you were new to yoga, I hope you've got a little bit of a taste for yoga now. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I've got a couple of other beginner-based ones. If you're ready to jump all the way in, there's also a couple of fun flows on there, which are more challenging, but always great for some fun and some extra strength and stretch if you wish. Have a lovely day. Namaste.